Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today I want to talk to you about the Leica M10 Monochrom. So, if I'm going to put it on the table, don't want to drop this thing. So, if you've been following this channel for the time being, you've seen this channel be mostly, well, pretty much always a film channel. I've been shooting film for around 15 years since I got back into it. And I've been really enjoying film photography, developing, printing, talking about the industry and so on. But every so often, I realize that I don't have the time I want to have for film photography. Film photography is a quite time-consuming hobby or job or whatever you want to call it that I do. And I start gathering rolls of film. I'm sure you guys have the same problem. You probably start shooting more than you develop, or you can't afford to develop all that you shoot. And that's the case with me. I currently have been sending my color film to Carmencita Film Lab in Spain. And I've been very happy with that because the color film is a pain in the, to develop and scan. But my black and white, I don't trust labs. I don't think they take the same care for black and white than I could in my own time in my own darkroom. And for that case, I have been hoarding my rolls of film. I push all my film at 1635 and usually nominal speed in medium format. Don't ask me why. I kind of like the contrast, the grain in 35. And I kind of like the smoothness and the tonality in medium format. Just random choices. But because of this, I have right now around 100 rolls of 35mm film pending to develop. And for that, I have even started working extra hours at work so I can take like days off work and start developing. But in the middle of that, at the store I work at, camera store, and they're not sponsoring the video or anything, but I guess I can talk about them because I borrowed the camera from them. In came a Leica M10 Monochrom. In the digital world, digital Leicas have been not the same size as the film Leicas. I'm a Leica M2 user. I enjoy it a lot. It's probably one of my favorite 35mm cameras. But I remember when the first time I grabbed the digital M was an M9, like 5-10 years ago, and it was so clunky and I didn't like it. And when they came out with the M10 and it was the same size or same thickness at least as a film M, I was like, ooh, that's kind of interesting. It's, almost the same size. And, this is kind of a camera that I could probably pick up and at least enjoy the same feeling that I get with an M2. So that just stayed in my head. And when I walked in to work and I saw the M10 Monochrom, I was like, well, if there's something that triggers my attention is I don't have the time to shoot film that much anymore. At least not the whole process, but there's the M10M, which is the closest thing to like shooting black and white film in the digital realm. So I decided to give it a go and pick it up for a day. Here at work, we have the perks that we can borrow gear, and I try not to borrow expensive gear because if you drop it or you break it, it's pretty much on you, which is understandable. And I didn't want to break a $7,000 camera. So I picked up the M Monochrom. I took it home, and I have multiple lenses for Leica that I've been kind of buying throughout the years. So first thing I slapped on is my favorite lens of them all, is the 35mm V1. That's the first version of the Summicron. It's called 8 element. It has 8 elements. It's the V1 as the version 1. And it has like a tonality separation that I love on black and white film, but I had never seen it on digital. So slap it on the Monochrom in my kitchen table and just take like some random pictures of my kids having breakfast and so on. And I'm blown away by the results. I'm just looking at them. I'm pushing. I actually set the Monochrom at 1600, which is my default setting for ISO on film. And I just shoot, and it's like grainless, and the tonality and like just I don't know. It has like this, the lens is sharp, but it has, I've never understood the Leica glow meaning. But this did seem to reflect that bit of a glow. It was like sharp, but had a bit of a misty, hazy edge on the corners. And I was amazed. I was really happy with the results. And I just was really, really interested in that lens and that combo. And I was like, okay, this is something that first, the body felt really heavy. But second, the images were really nice. I had to connect my phone, Wi-Fi, digital stuff. So I started shooting away, and then we decided to go outside. It was my daughter's birthday celebration, her birthday day. It took a month to celebrate, and we went outside. And the moment I walked outside, I was like, oh, I want to try out a wide lens. I have the 28 Summron first version, the old one, which is LTM basically, like a thread mount, or M39. And immediately that lens is kind of like, you set it to like f8 and you don't even have to focus. You kind of can just shoot. And this camera just shoots so well. It's just basically like you just compose and snap, and I start looking at shadows and contrast, and I'm not thinking about focusing, about metering. All of this was shot in aperture priority, so basically I didn't want to set anything. I was like, I'm going to go as lazy as I can with this camera, and I'm loving it. I love the contrast that comes out of the Summron, so the 28 f5.6. I'm really happy with it. And I have a 90 mil. I have a 9 centimeter, not 90 millimeter. It's actually 9 centimeters, the older version. I think it's an Elmar or something like that. It looked like this little mini sausage of a lens, and I don't have a picture of it here, but I'll put it on the screen. And this lens I bought for under 100 euros here at the store. It was 95. I'm working on a video of I bought a Leica lens for less than 100. And this lens has a considerable amount of haze due to the age and the coatings. It's a really old lens, also LTM. And I go ahead and I open it up and I start shooting pictures of the kids, obviously 90 mil, so way more close up. And I'm pretty happy. And I'm like, okay, I can see the lack of contrast. I can bump the contrast in post. But then I closed the lens for like, I can't remember what I closed it at because the scale is different. It's not the F scale. It's like a different F scale. It's all weird. It's super sharp, super cool. It has a cool separation to it. And it makes this lens that I hadn't really seen results yet because I've shot rolls of film, but I haven't developed, like I said before. And I'm super happy with this 90. And I'm like, okay, it's not the sharpest. It's kind of hazy, but it's kind of cool too because we're mixing this super high-tech monochrome sensor from Leica M10 with this like low-tech or low quality. And it's not that it's low quality, but it's old, so it's not the same standard. So like high quality from like the 50s or 40s with this high quality from 2020. And then we're talking about like 70-year difference. And suddenly this sensor is starting to represent the lenses in a really cool way, and I'm really happy with it. So I basically shot some more with 28 mostly, the 90 and the I'll say it, 35. Not much with the V1. I kind of stopped using it when we went outdoors. And then indoors, when we came back in, I was like, okay, let me pair it with the 35 Summron spherical, first version. I don't have the last one, basically. That was the first Leica lens I ever had. I know it's sharp as hell, and it was, again, very pleasing, sharp, very happy to shoot it. And I decided, we had what they call ringette here in Finland, which is like ice hockey, but with like a small donut or a ring. My kids are playing, and I go ahead and I'm like, I'm going to go super low key. I don't want to have like this Leica lens on top, and the camera, the monochrome, kind of blends into the idea that it's like all black, has no red dot. And I put this lens on. This lens, if you want more information, I'll probably make a video all on it, is a handmade adapted lens from a Olympus MU, one, which is a 35mm 3.5 lens. No aperture control, so it's fixed at 3.5, and no focus coupling. So this is basically based on some marks that are like 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters infinity. So this has live view, so I start shooting with this in the ice hockey ring, and it's not the sharpest lens in the world in the sense that it's 3.5, and you don't really have that focus precision you have with a rangefinder lens because it's not coupled. But I really enjoyed this. It was just such a, again, this time it was really low tech, high tech. The lens comes from like a €100 camera, and the body is a €7,000 body. So I really enjoyed shooting that, and I was very careful because I was in the ice ring and I was wearing a zipper. And then I was thinking, okay, if my camera's here, the zipper and the screen are going to get scratched, and I don't want that to happen because as the camera it's on the store. So that's the only thing I really disliked from this camera, is the fact that you have to kind of think of it as it has a lot of value to it and has a lot of resale value to it in the stage it is. It's pretty much brand new. So that's what bugged me the most. So after I came home, put the camera away, put it back in the package, cleaned it up, put it back in the store. Every time we use stuff, we like clean the sensor, we clean the camera, we do all this stuff. So obviously the person that buys it doesn't get like a like fingerprinted camera and so on. And I started thinking, that same afternoon, I picked up my M2 black paint, which I got as a 40th birthday gift from my wife. And I started shooting, and like, just, I don't know how to say it. Like, the idea of having a camera in my hands that I could shoot in advance, and it could get a little banged and dingled. And my black paint has like all this brassing on it, which is okay. And there's no screen that's going against my zipper because I'm wearing a hoodie or a jacket. And the idea of advancing, I really miss the advancing. I guess it's in me. I was like, if I was going to sell, and this is the difference, I was thinking, if I was going to buy brand new or a Leica M2, and there's no brand new Leica M2s, let's say it's north of around 1,500 to 2,000 euros. And then I put all my lenses on it, which I already have, or I buy this for 7,000. It's a 5,000 euro difference. 5,000 euros at 10 euro a roll is around 500 rolls of film. I do shoot 500 rolls of film in a couple of years, but it really made me think, like, do I really need like a M monochrome? I don't care about megapixel count. I don't care about high ISO rendition. I don't really care about it being Leica or not. I do like the size of it. I don't like chunky digital cameras. I do like all that stuff, but $5,000 difference, and every year that camera is going to go down in value as I shoot. Obviously, you kind of gain a bit of like that, like shooting film or shooting digital. You're saving money with that, but at the same time, you're losing money with the camera getting older. It really made me think, like, do I want something like this? My conclusion with the M10 is monochrome is that I would pick it up if there was no more film. If tomorrow Ilford, Kodak, and all the other black and white manufacturers said, we're done, guys, silver's too expensive, nobody's buying film, and so on, I probably would pick up this camera. Color photography is something I don't really enjoy too much. I enjoy my occasional film, roll of film in color, but not something I'm too worried about. But this would be my everyday. It would be my battle camera. I wouldn't mind getting it scuffed or scratched or used. I would just shoot it all day in and out. But until then, I really enjoy my film cameras. I enjoy the process of it. I don't have time for that process, but you know, it's still kind of magical. But I really had fun with this calculator of some sort, because it's a camera, but you know, there's all this electronics in it, and the Wi-Fi, and the, you know, live view, and the all this stuff that's like on digital cameras that I can't even mention right now because I'm too puzzled to even think about it, is cool. But at the same time, there's something to a camera which just has like 3 things on them: ISO, aperture, shutter speed, I guess, and focus, 4 things. And it's just so liberating to go back to that. And it was like 3 hours I shot this, but I thought I could share it here with you guys. I will be doing a change on my Patreon. What I'm going to start doing is all the files that I have mentioned here or I've shown here, I will try to upload to Patreon. If you want to download them, Pixel Peep, black and white peep, whatever you want to call it, I will do that. So that way people can see what this camera gives you. And also it's a way to thank the Patreons for the support there. They can download it and see more of what I'm showing in the video, because YouTube videos, we all know compression and all this stuff is going to crunch everything and you're not going to see so much. So if you're interested in seeing these files up front in your hands, I will go on Patreon and upload them somehow. I still don't know the technicalities and how to upload, you know, the raw files, but I will be doing that soon enough. So they'll be all uploaded there on Patreon. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you think about the Leica M10 Monochrome, if you enjoy it or if you don't. I really want to hear what people think. This is the first time I do a digital camera talk, and this is not a review of any kinds. If you want to watch reviews, go watch any of those YouTube channels that do digital reviews much better than I will ever do. And I did want to wear this t-shirt because I thought it was kind of a nice tongue-in-cheek of shoot film, stay broke. Because it is a bit of that. I do spend $7,000 on film throughout the years. Not in one go. I guess that's the hardest one, is paying that money in one chunk. But yeah, I enjoyed the M10 Monochrome. I'll leave the link below to the store because it's still available. So if you're one that has deeper pockets or, you know, different pockets than mine, go ahead, pick it up if this is the thing you like. I would say you will really enjoy it. It's a fun camera. It renders amazing. And if you are going to pair it with something, pair it with that V1.8 element if you can. It blew my mind, like just immediately out of camera, nothing touched. Amazing. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.